Hi everyone, Sonia here, and you're watching Pouring with Sonia. I just finished like a night sky background, like a Northern Lights one, and now I want to do a sunset pour. The idea behind these ring pours that I'm doing on the square canvas is to embellish them. I think this one I'm going to do like a tree line, and I'm not sure with the sunset. I just love a good saguaro cactus silhouette. So maybe that, but we'll see. We'll just see how it turns out. All right, so I've mixed up, this is a 14 by 14 ounce, 14 by 14 inch canvas. I've mixed up about 15 ounces of paint for it. I have just 1 ounce of white, and then 3.5 ounces of each color: cadmium yellow light hue, orange yellow or yellow orange, I don't know, crimson alizaron or alizaron crimson, I don't know, and dioxanine purple. I'm just not sure about this crimson alizaron, if that's just a ton of air bubbles in there or if there's little lumps in there. I just don't know. So my pouring medium is just glue and water. 70 parts Elmer's Glue All, 30% water. Oh my gosh, I can't talk at all. And then I mix them in a 1-to-1 ratio, except for the white. The white is Artist Loft Flow, which is thinner. So I only did 3/8 of an ounce of the pouring medium, and then the rest of it was 5/8 of an ounce was the flow. And then I have this perfect consistency for my ring pours. I like it thick, so I've got nice delineated lines. So it just flows off and leaves a mound on a mound. It might be easier to show with a little more I can put on my stick, maybe with the yellow. But a mound on a mound. Drizzles nicely. Hopefully you can see that. It's a little high for me, and I'm not very good at videoing anyways, but definitely on the thick side, okay, for the ring pour. So that's what I did. And for the crimson alizaron, I guess I never thought it mattered if you mixed paint brands. Like this is Liquitex, Creative Inspirations, Liquitex. That's Artist Loft Flow. But in the same color, I have some crimson alizaron by Blick Acrylics. They're studio acrylics, but I didn't have enough. So I also added to that some of the Liquitex Basics. And it was very chunky right from the very beginning. And I mixed and I mixed and I mixed and I mixed and added water, and I mixed and I mixed. And maybe it just has a bunch of now air bubbles in it that aren't going to go away unless it were going to settle like overnight, or unless I torch them. So hopefully those aren't lumps. Like that's a big air bubble. We'll see. I could be ruining my whole painting. We'll see. So 15 ounces. Here's a 18-ounce cup. I'm going to put my little bit of white in the very center on the bottom. So that's going to be my center for this. It's just a nice bright white. Not a ton, just a splash. And I'm going to go from light to dark on this, kind of a sunset pour. The last color you put in, most of it's going to get tipped off. So I do want some of the purple in there, but just around the edges. So I think I'm going to do half red, half purple, half red, half purple when I'm layering this cup, because I do want the purple not to be completely unnoticed. And I'm just going to kind of drizzle this across so it doesn't mix in the cup and kind of layers. Okay, let's get all of this scraped out. I really love a good ring pour. I just love it. I also love just straight pours for these backgrounds. So I'll probably do one more painting today of a straight background for a landscape, where maybe I do a rectangle shape and do the bottom third is like in browns and coppers and blacks for the ground, and then like some purples and blues, who knows, for the sky, and reds. We'll see. So instead of pouring it straight down the middle, I don't think I need to, tilt my cup because it's all pretty thick paint. It's going to sit on top of one another. But I don't want to pour it just straight down the middle. So I'm just kind of going back and forth so it sits on top. Just a little tip for newbies. Because we all got to start somewhere. And we just kind of learn as we go, right? I'm completely self-taught from my painting to paint pouring. I did take I've actually taken 3 online courses, which I highly recommend for anyone. I'll mention them and give a shout out. The first one I took was Ann Upton. She does a wonderful resin art tutorial. Well worth the money. And when you take her class, you also get some supplies with it, enough to do a couple projects. Then I took Catherine Beals Metal Leaf, if you like metal leafing, which I was talking. I was going to do half red, half purple, and now I blew it. Dang it. Catherine Beals. Dang it. Shoot. Metal leafing class. Super awesome class. I love metal leafing. Yes, it's more steps, but I like embellishing on top of my pours, so I love a good metal leaf embellishment. And then I took the Shelley Art Bloom class. Oh my gosh, that's probably the best online community for support and collaboration with other artists after you actually take the class, including Shelley herself. She takes a huge interest in all of our students. So I would recommend all 3 of those. Other than that, I am self-taught. But I mean, watching YouTube videos. So hopefully this will help you. Sorry for the little bit of shadows and light here. I'm in a window. I'm bummed that I didn't remember to do half red and half purple. And I got busy talking. So I want to do kind of big circles. Look, I'm going to lose all my purple. Where's my pink? All right, there we go. And my orange. Soon my yellow. And then a little bit of white right in the middle. At least I've got some purple all throughout, so that's good. So I don't care if this outside stuff gets tipped off. Where's my white? I see it's starting to come a little bit. Now I am absolutely, literally the worst at trying to make a nice center on these. I'm really trying to let it all come out so I get that little bit of white. Oh, shoot. And that just gloobed and globbed. And I better stop now because it's starting to gloob and glob. Look at what a pretty cup. Oh, you probably can't see it. You can't see it, but it's pretty. I'm going to go get a barbecue skewer, which is like my lifeline for these ring pours because I messed up that center. So I'm going to kind of grab, I love that cup. I'm kind of grab where I like the last ring and just kind of remake the circle. Okay. Voila. So this could be great or not great. I'm not sure. So I think what I'm going to do, honestly, is just grab some of this paint. I'm going to tilt all of this off. So it's not a big deal at all. But I'm going to take some of this paint that's in my cup and just kind of wet the sides a little bit so that it flows a little smooth. This is all going to get tilted off. I don't care if it's muddy. I'm going to go right over it all. Good to the last drop, that cup. I'm going to just use my hands to just kind of wet this canvas around here. Okay. Now there's no Floetrol in any of this paint because Floetrol will create cells, even without the silicone. And just the different weights of the paint will sometimes create cells too, right? So in my ring pours, I don't mind a few. I know I'm going to get some air bubbles popping too, with this nice beautiful brown I'm getting here, mustard yellow, because it's all those colors mixed together. And I'm going to cover the sides too. Now when I start tilting, it's just going to move a little easier because it's not grabbing on this dry canvas. I don't always do this, but it doesn't hurt either. I didn't have to mix up any extra paint. I just used what was left in my cup. Let me just grab this. I like using my hands for this. Granted, I'm always going to have gloves on. I'm not one of those that just loves to get my hands all dirty, but because I get my nails done. But I do like to feel, like I can feel without seeing, have I got that all wet or not? Because you can feel, you know, if it's going to slide easy, then it's all wet. If not, if your hand's still grabbing, you know that it's still a little, it's got some dry spots. So if you can't see, I like just feeling my way around and then trusting the process. Trust the process. That is, if I'm going over the edges, and I like going over the edges so that if I don't exactly get it all tilted off, I don't have to panic. I've got some color. And this is kind of a cool orangish yellow ochre color. So if a little bit of that shows through on the sides, I'm totally cool with that. But now there's not that pressure to, oh my gosh, I missed a spot. Nope, I don't have to worry about that. I'm going to dry my hands off, give it a quick torch. I sometimes torch here and I sometimes torch later, but I don't feel like I get all the bubbles out when I torch now because it's so thick, but we'll see. I got a big bubble there. Lots of bubbles. And we'll see if that crimson alizaron is lumps or bubbles when I start stretching. But if I can torch it now, then as I am tilting, these will just be a little stretched out and look good, hopefully. All right, I'm going to tilt it around to stretch it out before I tilt it over the edges. I love that I've got some dark purple all throughout. So now I'm not worried that I'm going to tilt all of this off because I wanted some of that purple everywhere. I'm not going to tilt it off. I'm just going to get it to the corners. But you can already see it's kind of rolling over itself. I'm going to lose that dark purple on the outside. And always I'm putting my paint weight back to the middle before I stretch to a different area. Okay, so now I've got it pretty well stretched out. And now I'm going to look at this and think, where do I want to maybe tilt off first? And I think I'm going to go to get my weight kind of going and go off to this corner. Just tip it over the edge and come back. And tip this one over the edge. Now what I did lose most of is my crimson alizaron. Or alizaron crimson, I don't know how you say that. I'm going to come straight back here. Kind of line that up with the corner. And I think what I'm going to do here, because I don't want to keep tilting, is just take my finger and grab this and kind of pull it over a little. And again, I already have that kind of yellow-orange corner, so I'm not too worried that I didn't get that tilted all the way over, but I didn't want to lose all of that crimson alizaron and purple. Actually, this might be the sun on the horizon. I don't know. Let's come back here. And we'll go one more time to this corner here. And then we'll tilt for composition. I have enough paint to go all the way over, so I will. I do see a little lump in this, which I see a couple little lumps, which could be from Dumb Crimson Alizaron. So what I want to do, I want to wipe my hands so I don't drip on my paint, on my painting. I've done that more times than I care to share. I'm going to torch again and see. I don't think that's air bubble. I think it's actual clump. It is. So get that out. And I think there's another clump up here. Maybe not. That might just be... dang. Might just have to go in here with my finger. Oh my gosh. Might just have to tilt that off. That's what I might just have to do. Let's see. I've got another lump there. So the Crimson Alizaron was definitely problematic. Bummer. Okay, so I just want to repop so I can see where there's lumps versus... I think there's another lump here, but it's not too bad. I'm going to tilt a little bit up this way and off that area that I just totally screwed up. Oops, I want to get rid of that cup. Okay. So let's come back over this way a little bit and just kind of tilt that off, the area that I messed up. Okay. Now I like this as the sky and this is the ground. So I think I just want to kind of go over this way a little bit. Because I kind of like that yellow kind of reaches up everywhere. I'm not really showing you what I'm doing here. Okay, so if I'm thinking sunset pour with saguaro cactus profiles, which is what I have in mind for this one, here's what I'm seeing almost up. For crying out loud, I can't get my cup to stand up. Okay, and let me put this back down. So what I'm kind of picturing, let me wipe my hands again before I drip all over my painting, is that I can have the land or skyline right about here. It can come right to here. And so you get the idea of a setting sun. It's going off that way, and then have my saguaro cactuses somewhere in the front ground. I can even cover up the very center of that if I decide I want to. It's going to dry a little bit darker, but I like that little bit of white in there next to, it was just 1 ounce of white, but it just gave me that pop next to that yellow that I like. And then the yellow and the orange and just a hint of that Crimson Alizaron and purple. The night sky's just starting to come in. Or should I have it be, see? This way. And should I tilt it back that way a little bit then? I'm not sure. Let me just have a look at that. How much paint have I got left? And so what I'm doing if I do it this way is I'm stretching out the bottom area and kind of putting the ribbons back together for the top area. And so if this, my dumb cups keep tipping. Okay. So conversely to the other one, I still think this composition works for either direction. And I'll have to see how it dries, but this could be the ground. Oh no, I still think I like it the other way. I think I like it the other way. Definitely. Now that I just look at it a little bit. My cup fell over again. Let me fix it again. Okay. And so many bubbles still. So let me just go over it one more time. It was that damn that doggone crimson alizaron. Sorry. Hopefully I didn't offend anyone. Oh, that's a lump there. I think I got all the lumps off, except that one that's very on the edge here, which I think I can just drag right off. Yep. This is the corner I didn't finish tipping on, so I can actually grab a little bit on my finger right here and just kind of nudge it. That's fine. It's going to keep stretching and dragging over the edge, and I'm okay with that. If you're just a little worried, if you do something like that and you just want to kind of create your own little lines, you can. I don't feel like I need to, but I'm just showing you. You can just kind of come on in here and create, kind of follow that line so that where you touched up, there's still, it's going to, like I said, there's like a lump in there. Good grief. Note to self, don't mix acrylic and Liquitex paints together. Or maybe they were just old, I don't know. Okay, but relatively happy with that. I don't think I can get all the bubbles out. They're just kind of everywhere. So that's going to be part of the painting, and I'll bring you down for a close-up. So this is kind of my idea of a sunset pour with some saguaro cactus silhouettes in there. So I'm relatively happy with that. So this will probably be my skyline, just underneath probably the sun. We'll see when it dries. I can even go up like this a little. You know, it doesn't have to be flat across or just like a hill. It can be whatever I want. And I'll probably follow some of the motion of the pour and then paint some silhouette-y. I'll probably go right over the center of that with a cactus so that you just kind of get, we'll see. We shall see. But I like it. Overall, like it. If you are 75 to 80% happy with your pour, leave it. See, I've got where all those air bubbles popped, which you're going to have no matter what. But there was some lumps in there. I think I got them all now, but it was definitely some problem areas. I like that I got my dark purple kind of everywhere for that contrast. I definitely wanted that dark purple for some contrast, and it dries so dark. So I'm glad I've got a little here, a little there, a little everywhere. So we'll see how it dries. So those are the two that I did today. One kind of northern lights. So I'm figuring some pine trees. I hope that gets a little bit darker, but I'm not too sure. My Payne's Gray almost all disappeared on that one. And it didn't filter in like the purple did on this one, even though I poured some Payne's Gray all the way in each of my colors. And then I like this sunset one. It really does instantly read desert heat to me. So I think it'll be really good for a saguaro cactus silhouette. So I hope that you enjoyed this, learned a little bit, and until we meet again, have fun painting, everyone. Bye.